All right, guys, so I'm back now, okay? Now, remember, this is just a continuation of our video of making the dehydrated fruit. We were making zucchini candy, and I told you in the last video that we were going to be doing some apples as well. And so these are the apples we're going to do. Now, listen, you can do any apples that you want to. I usually do the Granny Smith apples because they're a little tart, but today I am going to do some Gala apples and some Golden Delicious apples, okay? They're a little softer, but they'll still come out great. And I'm going to do them half and half. I'm going to do half in the solution with the tropical punch, and then the other I'm just going to do with plain lemon, just plain lemon juice. The reason for the lemon juice, you can put an apple slice in the dehydrator with nothing just like that. But what's going to happen is it's going to turn brown. As with any fruit that you cut, if it's just left in the air, it just starts to brown a little. So when you put the lemon juice right on in a bowl with a little bit of water, and then you just dip the fruit down in there, when you put it onto your trays in the dehydrator, I live by a fire department, so that's a normal thing. Don't worry. We're going to be fine. Just thought I'd throw that out. All right, so when you put them on the dehydrator trays and put them in, they won't turn as brown as they would. It'll have a little tint, but not much, all right? So the next thing I want to do is I want to show you that there are a couple different ways that you can do your slices. So right now, I just did just these little slices, and they are done very easily. I have this beautiful slicer right here, and you put your apple right on the middle. Let me just show you what it looks like. It looks like this. And as you can see, there's already grooves in there for the apple slices. This is pretty cool. So you go ahead, you put it right there, you take your little core, your apple slicer, and you just push down gently, and look what we get. Beautiful, even slices. Now remember that these here are too big to put in your dehydrator. That will take several days to dry out, okay? So you want to cut them thinner, as you can see, like that. And so then after you do that, what you will need to do is you'll need to take a knife. Be careful. I've done this a lot, so I can do it easy. And you want to cut that core out, okay? You don't want to put the core in. So you just cut it so that it looks nice and neat, like that, no core. And then at that point, you would take it and you will have to slice them a little bit thinner over into a bowl, okay? Now, not everybody have these kitchen gadgets. So the other thing you can do is what you just saw me do. You can cut your apple, and then you can core it, and then you can slice it just like you saw me do right there. So that's one way of doing the apple. The other way, which I really love, is you can take a corer, and you take your apple, and you want to, now you're not always going to get it just perfect. I've messed up several times. This is through trial and error, okay? So you want to just find out where the core is. You want to stick that core. This is what the tool looks like. It's a really cool tool to have. And you want to just put that, it has a blade. You want to just put that right over, if you can see that, right in there, where that core, and you just push down on it, might turn a little bit so it can cut it right out of there, and you pull it straight out. Look at that. Voila! You got that nice cored apple. So then you want to take, again, you want to take your knife, you want to cut it, and look at that. The core is gone. At that point, you just take your apple, and then you just go ahead and you slice it like so. Remember, the bigger your slices, the longer it's going to take to dehydrate, okay? I try to do them thin, but not paper thin. So kind of like this. That'll dry really good, all right? The third way, let's take that out. Let's be careful. Then the third way, we want to slice. So let's just take one of the red apples. We're going to core it again the same way we just did the other one. Put that right in, turn it so it can go all the way down, pull it out. Sometimes if the apple is not perfect, you're going to get a core. I don't know if you can see in there, but there's a little bit of a core in there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my core and I'm going to go in there just one more time, just on the piece where I see the core. And I'm just going to go right on down in there and pull that out. So now I have the entire core out, and that's what we want. So now there's no core in there. At this point, I'm going to take it, and I am going to use my slicer. Now this is a simple slicer. I think they cost about maybe no more than $20 at Walmart. The good thing about this is you can do an apple chip or whatever you're dehydrating. You can do pineapples, you can do pears, you can do peaches, you can do plums. There's so much you can do with that. When you get to the very end, you don't have to use that piece. If you don't want to, just put it to the side. And so what we have now is we're going to have these perfect slices. Look at that. I mean, beautiful, beautiful apple slices. All right. So I wanted to just come on and just show you a couple different ways that you could do your apples before we actually put them in the dehydrator. So I will be back once again. And we will go ahead and start putting those into the bowls. I'll show you how to put the lemon in with the water. And then we'll go ahead and get the dehydrator going so we can taste all this great stuff, all right? See you soon.